Good evening, friends. My name is Adi Masumyan. I'm a member of the Bahai faith, a religion that originated in 19th century Persia. Now, before I begin, let me clarify that this video is intended for Christian viewers that believe in the validity of the Bible and all pertinent prophecies. Alright, so I recently read a book about biblical prophecies known as I Shall Come Again. This is the book. It was written by a Bahai expert on the subject, Dr. Monarch, who has dedicated over 40 years of research to the field of religious prophecy. The focus of this particular book is to prove the validity of the Bahai faith from a biblical point of view. It elaborates, more than anything, on several biblical prophecies, especially ones regarding the year 1844, ones from Daniel, and others frequently cited from the book of Revelation. In essence, the book was written to prove that all of the biblical prophecies have been made manifest. Now, before we pass any premature judgment, as 1 Corinthians warns us from doing, regardless of the huge claim the book tries to defend, allow me to try to establish the book's credibility through quotes from the Bible itself. Now, it should be noted that the book of Revelation confirms that the name of the Promised One, the Prince of Peace, Promised One of all ages, will not bear the name of any past prophets, including Jesus. I quote verbatim from Revelation chapter 2, verse 17. To him that overcometh will I give to eat of the hidden manna, and will give him a white stone, and in the stone a new name written, which no man knoweth, saying he that receiveth it. Now, one title that is mentioned several times in the Bible is the glory of God, or the glory of the Lord. They're synonymous. Baháulláh, the name of the prophet of the Bahai faith, happens to be the Arabic word for the glory of God. In Isaiah chapter 35, verse 2, it says, The excellency of Carmel and Sharon, they shall see the glory of the Lord and the excellence of our God. Mount Carmel is very relevant to the Bahai faith, as it's the location where Baháulláh pitched his tent, which we regard as the tabernacle of glory, and also where he revealed his tablet of Carmel. Mount Carmel is also home to the majority of sacred Bahai sites, and also holds the Universal House of Justice, the governing body of our religion. Now, in addition to these tidbits of information, the Bible claims further validity for the context of our religious history. From Jeremiah chapter 49, verse 38, And I will set my throne in Elam. Now, Elam happens to be the southwestern region of modern-day Iran, formerly Persia, which holds Shiraz, the birthplace of the herald to the Bahai faith known as the Bab, similar to John the Baptist in Christianity. Now, something to note is that in John chapter 7, verse 51, does our law permit us to pass judgment on a man unless we have first given him a hearing and learned the facts? This is no different from viewing a religion. If one is to look into a religion with an open mind, a receptive heart, a willingness to learn, he should have no preconceived notions. He should do his best to put them aside and to go into it with a pure heart and unclouded eyes. Again, 1 Corinthians tells us to pass no premature judgment. Choosing open-mindedness, humility, this sort of meekness, over pride in yourself, that I know that what I'm believing is completely right and that everything else out there is wrong and is attempting to deceive me. That kind of attitude is not praised in the Bible. In Job, chapter 22, verse 29, He shall save the humble person. Again, humility and meekness are two virtues that are lauded more than anything else in the Bible. And of course in Matthew, chapter 7, verse 16, you will know them by their fruits. You look at what something has to offer, and you will know it by its principles, by the people who attempted to uphold those principles and to bring those principles into being. You examine a prophet's lifestyle and the teachings they had to offer. See if they're in accord with what you believe, if they make sense to you, and if not, you have the ability to turn away and to never regard it again. But as the Bible says in aforementioned verses, open-mindedness is heavily praised. Now, Baháulláh was incarcerated and in exile for 40 years, and his son Abdu'l-Bahá for 55 years, simply because they were trying to bring a new religion to humanity that they felt suited its present state. I think the least we can do to pay them back for their efforts is to at least take a glance at the things they believe and to see whether they're logical to us or not. And to peruse some books relating to the subjects, such as I Shall Come Again. Now, it should also be noted that many prominent people, Gandhi, Helen Keller, George Washington Carver, and Leo Tolstoy, all all lauded the Bahá'í faith. They praised it for its principles of unity and elimination of prejudice, among several other ones. But to close, I would also like to state that Bahá'u'lláh could not possibly be any sort of antichrist, for he immensely glorifies Christ, and the antichrist is supposed to do exactly the opposite. He is supposed to vilify him at every chance he gets. And it should also be noted that Bahá'u'lláh does not destroy what was given before. He rather restores, fulfills, and glorifies it. As Christ declares in John chapter 6, verse 39, "And this is the will of him who sent me, that I shall lose none of all that he has given me, but raise them up at the last day." And more than anything else, all of these things are elaborated on in such a handy little book. And even on the front page, there are 4 specific quotes that are cited. The theme of the book is practically revolving around these 4 things. The first one, from Luke 21:36, "Be always on the watch." Dr. Monarch elaborates on the meaning of words such as watch, these sort of action words in this book, in a way that many people may not have ever thought before, which is why it's such an interesting read. Second, "Keep your lamps burning." This relates to the story of the maidens who attempted to enter the bridegroom's banquet with an insufficient amount of oil in their lamps. He elaborates on this story from a very interesting perspective in this book. Third one, Revelations, chapter 3, verse 3, "I shall come upon you like a thief." This is a principle that is, a prophecy I should say, that is very heavily looked into the Bahá'í faith. And all explanations that Baha'is could have come up with are located in this book and in another book by a man named William Sears, known as Thief in the Night, which holds a similar purpose to "I shall come again," biblical prophecies. And the fourth one, "Unto them that look for him shall he appear the second time." Hebrews chapter 9, verse 28. The key part of that prophecy, "Unto them that look for him." Again, open-mindedness, getting out there, independent investigation of truth. These are all things that are upheld in the Bible. And if you truly are a Christian and a man of the Bible, a person of the book, then you would listen to the recommendation to try and read something, to peruse such a book that offers such an innovative spin that is not commonly heard about by others. This book offers a perspective unlike that of any other that I have ever read. And I'm sure if you were to read it, you would have a similar testimony as the one that I have given you today. Thank you.